Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Class 47PT YouTube channel. And in today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the Dapol Class 68. Now, this is not the first Class 68 that I've ever owned. I have owned one in the past. I had a DRS livery one, which that one got sold off. But since selling that one off, I have wanted to get my hands on another Class 68. And so I wanted to get one in a livery that I like the most. And there's no introduction needed to what this particular one is, because you all know which one this is. This is a 68032 Destroyer in the TransPennine Express livery. Now, this particular one, you may have spotted by that sticker there on the box, is DCC fitted. Now, I don't use DCC, but the reason I've bought a DCC fitted one is because at the time when I was buying one of these, the DCC ready ones had all been sold out. So if I had to get one of these, if I was going to get one, it had to be one with DCC fitted, with the decoder in. But that's not an issue, because I can easily remove the decoder and put a blanking plug in, so it can run on DC. And with the decoder, I can then get rid of it and sell it off, or even give it away to someone else. So that's no biggie at the end of the day. And I've chosen the TransPennine Express liveries because I really do like this livery. So without further ado, we're going to get this open and have a look at it. And we'll Okay, so the DCC decoder has been removed from the loco and the blanking plug has been fitted. Wasn't difficult to do, it was quite easy. The body just clips off. Just undo the clips. What I did is I just put a couple of cocktail sticks down into the clips and then just lift the chassis out very carefully. And then it's easy to remove the decoder and fit the blanking plug. And with the decoder, that's going to be sold on. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing if I go and buy a DCC fitted loco and then remove the decoder and sell the decoder on later on, because at the end of the day I've still got a fabulous locomotive, but also by selling on the decoder I can make a profit out of that. So in some ways I can get a little bit of money back from it. So it's not a bad thing at the end of the day. I think it's quite a good idea. Now, as for the loco itself, straight out of the box there was no quality control issues, which is exactly how we expect these models to turn up, because at the end of the day, when you pay out something like 165 quid for a loco like this, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. And also, it runs beautifully as well. I mean, the mechanism on this is absolutely smooth. And we've also got head and tail lights as well, which all work as well. Now, if you do get one of these locomotives and you have analog, which is DC, and you decide to remove the decoder, then you must refer to the owner's guide. As you can see, there's a diagram there of this here, which is this circuit board. Now, you take note of these switches. You've got switch 1 and switch 2. That little one just there, that's switch 3. Then you've got switch 4 and switch 5. So switch 1 and switch 2 are for the number 1 and number 2 end cab light controls. Switch 4 and switch 5 is for the number 1 and number 2 end push-pull lighting control. And switch 3, now if you want basically the head and tail lights to come on analog, then that little switch there, that comes all the way down to position 3, which is what this is at. Because otherwise, if it's not at position 3, the tail lights won't come on. So you must make sure that that switch is down to position 3 for the tail lights to work. So now we move on to the detail itself, and honestly this locomotive is brimming with detail. First of all, we've got sprung buffers. They are made out of plastic, but I'm not too fussed about that. As nice as it would have been to have had metal buffers. You've also got the buffer beam details, which has all been pre-fitted. You've got all the air pipes, etc. And also the coupling hook with the chain link coupling. Also, we've got a separately fitted window wiper on the windscreen. And also we've got separately applied handrails. We've got them on the front, just here, just under the windscreen. Then you've got them on the sides of the cab. You've also got them just along the doors, just there. They are made out of plastic, but they do look really nice, and they're accurate to the prototype. Now just down under the cab we have a footstep, as you can see there. That's got some nice paint on it. You've also got a footstep there just under the door. You've also got the builder's plate for the locomotive, that's crisply printed, as well as the locomotive's running number 68032, crisply applied on the body sides, and as well as the top's data panel, again crisply applied. You've got glazing in all of the windows, as you'd expect, and inside of the cab there is cab interior detail. None of it is painted, but it is there, and so it still looks nice, I think. And the lack of it painted certainly does not detract from the model. Moving on to the top of the roof, you can see the air horns there, separately fitted, and also just look at the separately applied detail there on the front. I mean, that just looks absolutely stunning. Now the underframe detail is equally impressive. I mean, for a start, just look at the detail on the wheels. I mean, fair enough, you're never going to see the detail when the wheels are moving, when you're running the model, but when it's sat on display, just sat on the shed like here for example, you know, it is nice detail to look at. You've also got the springs, as well as the axle boxes. There's also some nice pipework as well on the bogies, as you can see. Also, just take a look at the separately fitted detail parts as well that you just get under the body, just right by the battery boxes and the fuel tanks. Again, that detail is not moulded, that's separately fitted. And also just look at all the signs that you get on the battery boxes and fuel tanks. There's some nice rivet detail there as well. And also take note of this detail that's been crisply applied on the body sides just under the fuel tank. You can see there it's got diesel, so obviously it's a diesel locomotive, runs on diesel, and that's labelled correctly where the fuel cap is. Just look at all the rest of the printed detail there as well. I mean, the amount of detail that's gone into this model is absolutely stunning. It really is phenomenal. I turn my attention to the other bogie. Again, you've got all the beautiful separately fitted detail. Detail on the wheels, the springs, the axle boxes and the pipework. It's just all fantastic to look at. So now I turn my attention to the grills, and the detail that's gone into those is really lovely. You've got the rivet detail there just around them, holding them in place, and also just look at the detail there along the grills themselves. And also you can see behind this grill as well, you can see the detail behind that. That just looks fantastic. And the grills as well, it is worth mentioning that they are made out of metal, you know, that metal mesh, and they really do have a lovely feature, a nice texture to them. Now we move on to the livery application, which is, as you would expect, it's absolutely stunning. There's no imperfections in the livery anywhere at all, or any defects. It's a beautifully top-notch factory finish, and the livery has been captured really, really well to the real thing. I mean, I do absolutely love this livery because it's absolutely striking, and I think it really does suit the loco quite well. And I would say that they've got the colours bang on as well. I mean, just look at the livery. I just think that that looks absolutely gorgeous. You've even got the locomotive's nameplates, Destroyer, crisply applied on the body sides, and also got the TransPennine Express logo, again crisply applied on the sides there, as well as the first group logo as well, again crisply applied on the body sides. It's just absolutely gorgeous. and it's been really well captured. What I love about the TransPennine Express livery is that it's not just one colour, it's multiple different colours in one livery, and it just looks really striking and beautiful. And also, just like the real locomotive in this livery, it doesn't have a yellow warning panel. You can see it has the two different colours of blue. You've got the light blue colour and then you've got the darker blue, as well as the TransPennine Express logo, the star, crisply applied on the front there. And there's just something about it not having the yellow warning panel that makes it look, how can I put this, it makes it look otherworldly, if you know what I mean. Especially if it's got the name Destroyer, it certainly does look like something that really set out to go out and destroy. It's like something deadly and villainous, if you can understand what I'm saying. Moving on to the roof, and there's some great detail on the roof, especially with the exhaust port, as you can see, and also with the fans, which have got that mesh grille at the top, which looks absolutely stunning. And also you can see the fans underneath those as well. And also you got some grills as well on the top. So the detail on the roof, it really is cracking to look at. On the other end of the loco, as you can see, we don't have much buffer beam detail on this end. Most of it has been left off, as you can see. And that's obviously that the coupling can swing about. And as standard, this has a tension lock coupling, which is going to be replaced with the hump coupling, of course. Again, you have plastic sprung buffers like on the other end, and you've got the separately fitted handrails. So you have the other side of the loco, which it's the same detail on this side as it is on the other side, but all the detail, all the same, is still superb. And Dapol really have captured the look of the prototype superbly. I mean, they really have got it spot on with this model. So that's it then for my review of the Dapol Class 68 in the TransPennine Express livery. Now, when I did a review on the Dapol Class 68 in the DRS livery some years ago, I said it was a phenomenal model. And to be honest with you, my opinion hasn't changed at all whatsoever, because I still think the Dapol Class 68 is certainly up there. You know, it's definitely one of the best locomotives that we've got in RTR, and it's easily one of the most detailed as well that you can get on the market. And they've just done a flawless job of this locomotive. I mean, it just looks absolutely stunning everywhere on the loco. And I know I sold my DRS Class 68 off, but my TransPennine Class 68 is going nowhere. She's going to be staying in the fleet, and so I think I might have to get the Mark 5s now to go with her, which Accurascale are producing. So that is a maybe. At first, I have to be honest, I wasn't too keen on the Mark 5s, but I am warming to them. And I do think that the Mark 5s, especially in model form, to go with the TransPennine Express 68, is going to look hellfire. And I have seen both the TransPennine Class 68s and the Mark 5s in real life. So I think I might just have to get the Mark 5s. But obviously they're not released at the moment, so for the time being she'll have to pull my other stock, which isn't a problem really at the end of the day, because it's my layout and my rules. Always remember rule 1. So for my conclusion then for the 68, if you're interested in buying a Class 68, highly recommend this model. Doesn't matter what livery, just go and buy one, because it is an absolute stunner. So this is the point in the video now where we're going to come on to the running, where we're going to do a running session at the end of the video. And so for this video I'm going to get the Class 68 pulling my rake of BR blue and grey coaches, which I think will look quite nice behind this loco. So thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, don't forget to subscribe and also smash the like button. Feel free to post a comment, and also while you're at it, don't forget to check out all my other videos that I've got on the channel. But until next time, stay safe, stay well, and take care. Ta-ta for now.